Number 1!
Being a new fan of Gundam this year, it was awesome playing through this while watching through G Gundam and Gundam Wing for the first time. The combat isn't great, but the amount of variety to it is amazing, combined with the incredible depth of customization for your mobile suits.
Number 1!
Final Fantasy 15 is the closest to what I've wanted from a new Final Fantasy game for a very long time. A beautiful open world, a huge amount of freedom, combat that flows well, dungeons with solid depth, very fun characters, and great voice acting. It's a shame that almost the entire back half of this game kind of falls apart with some of the worst narrative and gameplay design choices I've ever seen in a Final Fantasy game, because the first half of this game would have easily made Final Fantasy 15 number 1 on this list.
It's nothing. This one's just for you. Number 1!
Muramasa is my favorite Vanillaware game, and this enhanced version of the original Odin Sphere was them taking one of their old PS2 RPGs and making it play a lot closer to Muramasa by adding a huge amount of depth to the combat and speeding up the gameplay. Not to mention, it's great finally seeing a Vanillaware game running in full HD.
Number 1!
The sequel to Virtue's Last Reward, my favorite visual novel of all time, which was a sequel to 999, one of the best DS games almost no one played. Zero Time Dilemma does do kind of a poor job wrapping up its trilogy, but I did like the puzzles and I like the overall story ideas and really appreciate the effort into completing a series that no Zero Escape fan would ever think would even get a third game to begin with.
Number 1!
I love Digimon so much, but this is the first time that I can say a Digimon game was actually very good. A very fun Shin Megami Tensei style RPG, and after almost a decade of no Digimon games in the West, thank you Bandai Namco for giving us the best one.
Number 1!
Devil Daggers is a great throwback to 90s PC shooters, but with a twist. You're scored on how many seconds you can survive, and it's incredibly difficult. Very responsive controls, enemy encounter design is top notch, and it's one of the most heavy metal games of this year.
Number 1!
Thumper is the anti-rhythm game. It's not about having fun playing a song, it's about trying to survive while that song is trying to kill you. It's the most engaged I've been playing a game that actively feels like it hates me.
Number 1!
Overwatch is the most I've loved an online shooter since Battlefield Bad Company. I've always been bad at kill-death ratios in online shooters, but in Gears of War, I always had the most revives. In Battlefield, I was always supplying health, and Overwatch not only allows me to play support in so many ways, the scoreboard highlights everyone's strengths in a way that congratulates you for finding different ways to help your team rather than just racking up kills.
Objective A captured.
Number 1!
The jailer is the key. Kill him, and you'll be free.
Fury is my Osterbreed of 2016, and you probably have no idea what that means. It's a bullet hell shooter with beat-em-up elements, great visuals, and a killer soundtrack. Every level is a boss fight that plays unique from each other, and uses action mechanics in a puzzle-like way. Luckily, I got really into bullet hell shooters this year, or else I probably would have hated this game.
Number 1!
Doom is the most heavy metal game I have ever played. Demons aggressively trying to tear you apart while you rip and shotgun their faces off to the tune of the most brutal extreme metal I've heard in a game. It's an amazing callback to old school first-person shooters with its more complex level design and always on offense combat. No cover mechanics, no auto-regenerating health, you run fast, you pick up health packs, almost all weapons can constantly shoot without reloading. It's self-referential in the way Duke Nukem wishes it was. It's refreshingly bombastic in the way Call of Duty wishes it was. Thank you Mick Gordon for making an amazing metal soundtrack, and thank you id Software for bringing back a classic the way it should be done.
The core temperature is now stabilized.
Made it! Alright!
No. What about me?
Right, just let me look around.
Cool. Cool, I'll just hang out here.